This week in Jamaica Now, Integrity Commission says former National Security Ministers Peter Bunting and Robert Montague approved gun permits for people with criminal traces. What they have to say. Trafigura case comes to a close after 16 years. But why didn't Portia Simpson Miller take the stand? Finance Minister announces new banknotes are coming.
The Most Honourable Michael Manley and the Most Honourable Edward Siaga, who are contemporaries and rivals, will appear together on the new $2,000 banknote.
Students protest at Agricultural College after one of their peers is raped on her way to the farm.
A student got kidnapped on the campus in which that we are supposed to be safe on.
High drama in Mandeville as shooters engage the police in daring firefight. 2 charged in the murder of a St. Anne Villa operator. And Bull Bay heartache as a 3-year-old child is killed in a crash. I'm Damian Mitchell and this is Jamaica Now. Former National Security Ministers Peter Bunting and Robert Montague have taken issue with a report from the Integrity Commission that they approved gun permits for people with criminal traces. According to the Commission, Bunting granted approval for 2 persons with adverse traces, while Montague granted permits to 6 people. But Bunting has sought to explain that in one case, the cocaine-related record of the applicant had been expunged. In the other case, he said the applicant was accused of molesting his wife's relative. But a formal report was never made to the police. Meanwhile, Montague said the Integrity Commission report was grossly misrepresentative and incomplete. He insists that he carried out his statutory functions. Montague also said the report failed to take into consideration that all his actions were guided by a panel of experts that assessed appeals for firearm permits. After 16 years, People's National Party officials this week provided answers to Dutch authorities about the controversial $31 million donation it received from oil trading firm Trafigura Behir. Trafigura made the donation to the PNP in 2006. At the time, the PNP was in government and had an oil lifting contract with Trafigura. Businessman Norton Hines and PNP functionaries Portia Simpson Miller, Robert Pickersgill, and Colin Campbell, as well as Philip Paulwell, were slated to answer questions. Everyone except Mrs. Simpson Miller answered questions about the Trafigura donation. She was excused after a medical certificate was tendered to the judge hearing the matter. Dutch investigators who were in Jamaica for the hearing say they are satisfied. According to the investigators, some things are now clearer. Jamaica is to introduce a $2,000 banknote later this year. Finance Minister Dr Nigel Clarke made the announcement in opening the budget debate this week. The new $2,000 bill will bear the images of former prime ministers and political rivals Michael Manley and Edward Siaga. And Dr. Clarke has announced that the current notes are to be upgraded in the coming fiscal year.
The notes have to be distinct in color so we can easily distinguish them. Most of the features, most of the note is taken up in security features on the left and on the right. We have all the leaders appear on a note on a higher currency, higher denomination than they were before, and the photographs that appear are the same photographs that we have today, because getting permission to change all those photographs would have been, so the photographs are the same, and Madam Speaker, we expect later this year for these to be in circulation, and they last 50% longer than existing banknotes.
The College of Agricultural Science and Education case has promised to implement improved security measures in the wake of the abduction and sexual assault of a student on Thursday. Principal Dr. Derek Deslandes made the commitment after angry students protested, demanding that the administrators address security deficits at the Portland school. But the president had made similar pledges in June 2021 after an attacker gagged and raped a student in an abandoned train tunnel at the college. And so the students say they are not letting up.
Listen, we not only use the road to go a farm, we use the road to do with daily activities. We go a party sometimes, we not get no vehicle down there, we have to walk, come up here. Then put machine over here, ATM machine up a gate there, we have to come up here. Why the machine never down there? And them say we have to walk in a group.
If from 2 o'clock, we have to wake up to go from 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning. Farm start 2 and 5, so no, so we have to reach farm them time there. And the place is dark. So people are walk on campus in a dark hour by themselves. Because they don't have no security guard to patrol the campus.
The assaulted student was reportedly attending farm practice shortly after 5 o'clock Thursday morning. She was surprised by a man who dragged her to a secluded area near an abandoned Jamaica Railway Corporation tunnel on the school compound and assaulted her. There was high drama in the Manchester capital on Thursday afternoon as shooters engaged the police in a daring firefight along Main Street in the vicinity of the Villa Plaza. Frantic, people scampered to safety as gunshots rang out. Investigators say sometime after 3 p.m., the police responded to a tip that suspicious people were in a motorcar. The police reportedly attempted to intercept the vehicle when they were fired on. One eyewitness said a woman was among the shooters. The shooters managed to flee in a motor vehicle. However, the police retrieved a number of spent shells from the scene. In St. Anne, the police have charged 2 men for the murder of St. Anne Villa manager 65-year-old Clyde Taylor. Taylor, who was the manager of Sunflower Villa in Salem, was reported missing on Sunday, February 27. He had left his home in Salem the previous night driving his 2013 Nissan Note motorcar. 4 days later, his body with several chop wounds to the head was discovered in the trunk of his car in Top Hill near Runaway Bay. The police have since charged 22-year-old Shaquille McIntosh, a houseman of Salem, and 32-year-old Sheldon Folks, a barber of Lewis District, both in St. Anne. A Bull Bay St. Andrew family is struggling to heal a heartache after a 3-year-old child was killed in a crash. The child died after running into the path of a motor vehicle. China Harbour Engineering Company has come under intense criticism for alleged incomplete construction. There have reportedly been calls for the contractors to fix a small space in a wall to the front of the property through which little Shadeen Martin walked onto the busy thoroughfare.
She went through here, she can't walk through. She can't walk through. Turn her body sideways and she got through.
I see Gleaner, I talk to Gleaner, call the man on the phone, I sit down there. When Gleaner talk to the man, every day the man come to the wall and none can come. I keep on, I say 5 people in the yard, and I tell the man 5 people in the yard, let's sit there now. That's all right.
You see all of this from last night before it happened, see it, you never know that.
I never know that she used to talk.
See the whole of it.
I keep on telling the man, from something. Never know she.
And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page. Subscribe today and turn on your notifications. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, blind Jamaicans want to say in how the new Jamaican banknotes should feel.
For us who are blind, what we need is something that is tactile. It could be dots, it could be shapes, but something that is tactile and something that is durable. So even when the currency is crushed and creased, you won't have a challenge identifying it. So that's one thing. Of course, for persons who are low vision, colors and some make a big difference in terms of knowing what is what.
Thankfully, we have an app now, which is called a cash reader, that we are able to hold the money over the camera of the phone, and it tells us the denomination.
Apart from using the app, or before the app came into being, how did you identify the notes?
Well, if it's a crisp money, like it's just coming from the bank, there are some little symbols on it. I can remember the $500, it has a circle in the top right hand corner that you can feel. But if that money is crushed, in problems, because you won't be able to feel that.